Breaking news! Something special is brewing in Denver, and what I've uncovered inside Broncos training camp might just blow your mind. This isn't your typical preseason hype. I'm talking about bold decisions, a quarterback battle that's heating up fast, unexpected breakout players, and a defensive front that could wreck the entire league. Sean Payton isn't just building a team, he's constructing a machine. But there's something else, something happening behind the scenes that no one's talking about yet, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button, but only if you're a real Broncos fan. And if you've been bleeding orange and blue for over 20 years, I want to see you drop this in the comments. Go Broncos! My heart bleeds orange and blue. Let's jump right into it because what I'm about to share might just change how you see this team heading into the season. Training Camp 2025 is proving to be a battleground, and Sean Payton isn't holding anything back. He's making his vision clear. Competition is king. From day one, Payton set the tone with a message to the entire team that nothing will be handed out, everything has to be earned. And he's already backing that up with action. Multiple players are being rotated through starting reps, and Payton has not hesitated to give younger talents a shot against veterans. His goal? To create a deep, aggressive, and versatile team that's ready to win now. All eyes are on the quarterback position, and folks, this is a real battle. Jarrett Stidham came in strong, but the buzz surrounding rookie Bo Nix is only getting louder. Payton has been meticulous with how he's managing reps. While Stidham opened with the first-team offense, Nix is quickly gaining ground. What stands out with Bo isn't just his arm strength or mobility, it's his command. Every day, he's getting more comfortable, more vocal, and more confident. Sources within the camp describe him as a player who doesn't flinch under pressure. That's exactly the kind of mentality Payton wants in a quarterback. He's not naming a starter yet, but don't be surprised if Nix continues to close the gap. He's impressing teammates and coaches alike. While the offense is undergoing its transformation, the defense is showing signs of dominance early in camp. Defensive coordinator Vance Joseph has the unit flying around with purpose. The secondary, led by Patrick Surtain II, looks locked in. Surtain remains the quiet force on the field, consistently blanketing receivers, forcing quarterbacks to second-guess their reads. Fabian Moreau has emerged as a reliable veteran presence, giving this cornerback group needed depth and leadership. And let's talk about rookie corner Kris Abrams-Draine. He's had a few flashes that show he might be a steal. The Broncos are clearly building a back end that can go toe-to-toe with any offense in the league. But don't think the front seven is being overlooked. Jonathan Cooper has come in with a chip on his shoulder and is playing like a man possessed. He's been disruptive during team drills, showing off speed and a refined set of pass rush moves. Combine that with Baron Browning, who's back and healthy, and you've got a pair of edge rushers who can cause real problems. Zach Allen continues to be the steady anchor along the defensive line, and with DJ Jones clogging up the middle, the Broncos are establishing a front that looks much tougher against the run, something they struggled with last season. Now, we can't talk about the Broncos without discussing the wide receivers. The connection between Courtland Sutton and the quarterbacks has been solid, but what's really intriguing is the way the younger receivers are pushing for roles. Marvin Mims Jr. has injected real speed into the offense and is making a strong case to be heavily involved in the passing game. But the name that's making waves right now is Troy Franklin. His chemistry with Bo Nix from their Oregon days is translating quickly to the NFL field. That connection could prove to be a major storyline if Nix wins the starting job. Franklin's ability to create separation and track deep balls is giving the Broncos a legitimate downfield threat they've lacked in recent years. The tight end room also deserves a spotlight. Adam Troutman is leading the way with his blocking and reliable hands, but keep an eye on rookie Devon Vele. He's still raw, but his athletic upside is catching attention during camp. Sean Payton loves tight ends who can create mismatches, and Vele might end up being more than just a developmental piece. Speaking of rookies making noise, running back Audric Estime is proving to be a physical runner who thrives on contact. He's not just fighting for a roster spot, he's pushing to carve out a role in the offense. Javonte Williams remains the starter, and his recovery looks strong, but Estime's hard-nosed style could complement him perfectly, especially in short yardage and goal line situations. Special teams also seem to be tightening up. Riley Dixon's punting has been consistent, and rookie kicker Will Reichard is showing the poise and leg strength to make this kicking competition interesting. These might seem like small details, but we all know special teams can swing close games in the NFL. One last point that can't be overlooked is how Sean Payton is molding this team culturally. From the staff meetings to the way practices are run, everything is deliberate. He's creating an identity rooted in accountability, detail, and toughness. He's not just coaching a team, he's building a program. The atmosphere around the Denver Broncos right now is electric, and part of that buzz is coming from how this team is not only competing, but dominating. Let's talk about the back-to-back preseason wins over the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. We're not just talking about sloppy games with backup players making lucky plays. The Broncos have controlled these games from start to finish, holding both teams to just one touchdown each. That level of discipline and execution in both preseason games and joint practices is turning heads across the league. Say what you want about preseason, it doesn't count in the standings, but it absolutely reveals the DNA of a team. And right now, the Broncos are showing they've got the structure, the depth, and the coaching to be serious contenders. Injury updates? All good news. This is where things really get exciting. Sean Payton had promised that key players recovering from minor injuries would be back in action, and he delivered. Garrett Bowles returned to practice after a terrifying asthma attack incident, and seeing him back on the field is more than just a health update. It's a morale boost for the entire offensive line. But even more significant, Nick Bonitto is back. Not only was he back on the field looking fantastic, but Payton went a step further and had Bonitto take the podium post-practice. That's a powerful message from the head coach. He's showing faith in Bonitto, even as the linebacker is working through contract negotiations. That level of trust speaks volumes about the relationship between players and coaching staff, and that culture is everything when you're chasing a championship. Dre Greenlaw also made his return, participating in full team drills. This isn't just about checking boxes. Payton's running 2.5-hour padded practices under the Colorado sun. He's building a team that's tough, resilient, and in football shape well before week 1. And it's paying off. The Broncos continue to be one of the healthiest squads in the league. That's not a coincidence. That's Sean Payton being old school in the best possible way. Now, let's tackle one of the hottest debates in Broncos country. Who is the real WR2? Well, if you ask Sean Payton, that question misses the point entirely. He doesn't care about labels. He cares about matchups. Each week, he's going to scheme to exploit the opposing defense's weaknesses, and that could mean Marvin Mims Jr. is the go-to one week, Troy Franklin the next, or even Pat Bryant stepping up in specific packages. This is chess, not checkers. Payton's not building a predictable offense. He's creating a system that adapts week to week, tailored to each opponent. We saw it in how the Broncos approached the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints last season. Different plans, different looks, total control. And Bo Nix? He's not just keeping up, he's thriving. Joint practices have shown he's facing one of the league's top defenses daily, and while it hasn't been easy, he's learning and adapting. You could say he's been training with ankle weights on. Once the season begins and he faces other defenses, especially teams like the Titans, expect fireworks. Reports from the most recent practice said the ball wasn't hitting the ground during red zone drills. That's the kind of precision and execution that wins games in January. The Broncos' edge rush depth is turning into a serious weapon. We've already talked about Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonitto, but what about the depth behind them? Jonah Ellis is a name that keeps popping up. 3 blockers couldn't stop him from getting into the backfield. Then you have Dondre Tillman, and now Q. Robinson is being described as unstoppable when he gets going by his own teammates. This rotation isn't just deep, it's dangerous. If these young pass rushers continue to develop, there's a real chance Denver could challenge the league's sack record again. On offense, the leap from year 1 to year 2 for Bo Nix has been undeniable, and tight end Adam Troutman is one of many players confirming that. He's highlighting Nix's growing command of the playbook, and it's already showing in how clean the practices have become.